What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be predicting some of the top rookies this year, how many points they're going to get during the regular season. So it is kind of like my Calder prediction, but we're just looking at points. I'm not going to be going over like Devin Levi. It is an absolutely stacked rookie class, obviously. Bedard, Fantilli, Carlson, Cooley, Nyes, Levi, Hughes, Clark, all those names, a bunch of studs. I'm going to go through like the top 8, I think, point getters for this year based on my predictions, what I think is going to happen based on what they've done at the junior level, the semi-professional level, and just their overall skill set. So without further ado, let's get into the first guy. First guy is obviously Conor Bedard. I started in June-ish. I was saying he was going to get like 64 points. I was like, the Blackhawks are going to stink. He's not that good. The Blackhawks did improve their team a little bit this season, and I've only warmed up to the fact that he is truly a generational talent. It wasn't even like, I'm not overreacting to like goddamn prospect game. I knew he was a generational talent, but when you look at him and you look at the other generational talents, what they did in their rookie years, I'm going to pull up other rookie stats. Sidney Crosby walked into the league and had 102 points. Patrick Kane, not generational, but had 72. McDavid had 48 in 45 games. So if he is this superstar talent, I think he should go for around mid-70s, I'd say. I'm going to go 74 as of right now. I think he's going to be around 35 goals, 39 assists, I'd say, because although he doesn't have that much talent around him in Chicago, if he is that good of a player, the generational talent should be able to walk into the league and be like a fringe top 15 center in the entire league. Obviously, if he had more talent, he could maybe be like Sidney Crosby and go for 90 to 100. I think the talent on the team will restrict him in some sense of, instead of being in the 80s to 90s like a McDavid. McDavid had like Draisaitl, Taylor Hall, like a good Taylor Hall. Bedard doesn't have much, but just on his own with Taylor Hall, who's still a decent player, Lucas Reichel, I think he can go for mid-70s. So right now I'm going to go 74 for Conor Bedard, clearly leading this rookie class. Next up is Adam Fantilli. Adam Fantilli, as of right now, I'm going to go with 56 points. I think that's a pretty fair number when you look at what he did at the college level last year. His number one comparison for like production from NCAA into the pros is Jack Eichel, obviously. They had a pretty similar freshman year in college. Both won the Hobey Baker. Both were pretty easily the best player in college hockey during their freshman years. And then Jack Eichel walked in and put up 54 points in 78 games, which NHL equivalency was 57 because he missed a couple games. So looking at Jack Eichel, he was on a team that's probably going to be about comparable to Fantilli on Columbus. And if Fantilli can somehow play with Laine and Gaudreau, I would say honestly like 60. But even if he doesn't, and he's just on that second line with like Kirill Marchenko or Kent Johnson, that's still a very talented group, talented team overall. I think Columbus is not going to be bottom of the pack. They're going to be a bottom 10 team, but not horrible like with Conor Bedard in Chicago. So I think he can go for mid-50s. It's definitely possible. He's my value bet for the Calder Trophy. He's going right now at plus 2,000. I think that is great value. So I'm going to say 56. Actually, let's go 57. Why not? Logan Cooley, this guy obviously last night had what might go down as the goal of the entire season in Australia last night. Spinorama, flying Bobby Orr type of goal. For him, I'm going to go with 53 points. I think 53 is about fair for Logan Cooley. You look at him, he's probably going to be on that second line as of right now with like Jason Zucker and Michelli. That's a pretty decent spot to line up in. Obviously, he was going to be first line center with Keller and Schmaltz. That's obviously Barrett Hayden's in the middle there. But when you look at Logan Cooley, he was the second best player in college hockey all of last year. And I think the Coyotes are going to be better than, say, the Columbus Blue Jackets compared to Adam Fantilli. So Logan Cooley should slot into that second line center role. Maybe get some top power play time. And I think Arizona as a whole, defensively, they definitely have problems. Goaltending's okay, maybe below average. But that forward core, especially that top six, should be able to put up a decent amount of points. So I'm going to go 53 for Logan Cooley. Next up, we got friend of the show, Leo Carlson. Leo Carlson, I'm going to go 50 on the dot. You look at him coming into the league. He, compared to Cooley and Fantilli, the SHL or Bedard, the SHL is definitely the closest among those to the NHL. He has experience playing against grown men in the SHL. So his game, he might not be the best player right out the gate, but he knows how to play against grown men. Even in the World Championships, he outproduced Adam Fantilli. Adam Fantilli only had, I believe, 3 points. Carlson had 5 points in 8 games, which was mostly against NHL talent at the World Championships. So I don't think that he will have this massive learning curve. For him, it's definitely there's a lot of fluctuation because if Zegras, God forbid, gets traded or just holds out for a while, Carlson in training camp was skating with Troy Terry and Alex Killorn. Like, he could get major minutes on that Anaheim Ducks team. I don't think the Ducks are going to be that good of a team, but if he's playing second line or maybe even first line, he could explode for like 55, 60 points. Because when you look at some of these other Swedish guys that came over from the SHL, Pettersson and Backstrom didn't immediately play in the NHL, but when they did, they came over their draft year +2. They were already like 70, 75 points. So that tells me that Carlson had the same level of SHL draft year production, that he should be around 45 to 50 points as long as he has some decent talent around him. So I think he's going to do very good his first year in the NHL. Fifth up, I got Luke Evangelista. I'm going to go with 49 points. He is the guy. He's kind of the Calder dark horse, in my opinion, right now, just because he actually has some NHL experience. He played 24 games last year, had 15 points. That's around 51-point pace. Will he be able to keep that up? We'll see, because they got rid of Johansson. They got rid of Duchesne. He's probably going to get a bump in ice time. That is a very small sample size, so I'm not going to say he's going to improve on that 51-point pace and go get 55, 60. But 49 is pretty fair. He's a very underrated prospect because he plays in Nashville. He's a 2020 draftee. So he's like 2 to 3 years older than a lot of guys that I'm listing. So he is a more mature player and has proved it at the NHL level. So it would not shock me if he honestly goes for 60 points, because there's going to be a lot of forward time up for grabs in Nashville compared to maybe some of the other teams. Moving on to number 6 we're at now. Number 6, I got Matthew Knies. I'm going to go 46 points right now. I was going to have Matthew Knies higher, but now that William Nylander will also play center as well as Tavares and Matthews, I am going to bump him down a little bit. I probably would have had Knies at like the 52 or 53 range, not because I think him individually is such a fantastic player. He's definitely very good. He played pretty good in Minnesota last year. He was a Hobey Baker finalist. Cooley was the best player on that team, but he was very good in his own right. But looking at Matthew Knies, because Nylander and Tavares aren't playing together anymore, I thought it was going to be Knies, Tavares, Nylander, and that was going to be the second line, and he was just going to be able to pop off with that group. He's probably going to still play with one of Tavares and Nylander. I think that Bertuzzi, Matthews, Marner line is like basically locked up. So instead of playing with both of them, he's still probably going to play with one of them. So he's going to put up some points, but I think 47 is pretty fair for a rookie year. A guy that, again, like Evangelista, we did see him in the NHL playoffs last year. He put up, I think, 3 or 4 points in 7 games before he got hurt. He looked pretty solid, but I think this year he does take another step and becomes an NHL regular. I don't think he's going to have a Michael Bunting level rookie year because he's not going to be on that top line, but he should be good for around mid-40s, so 47 seems about fair. Next up, Luke Hughes. I'm only going to go with 38. And that might seem low. That might seem very low, and I understand why. I just can't see him, because they have Dougie Hamilton, really assuming a massive offensive role. He's going to be the second offensive defenseman, but the ice time for him isn't there compared to maybe other rookies that have put up massive numbers in the NHL. You look at other top rookie defensemen. Quinn Hughes walked into Vancouver, was basically the number 1 defenseman, top power play. Moritz Seider, same thing. Cale Makar, same thing. Dion Phaneuf was the second ice time leader. Myers walked in, played 23 minutes a night. Werenski walked in, played big minutes. So when you look at Luke Hughes, those guys were also, like, besides Makar, not on that good of a team, so like they just played a ton, had every opportunity. It's not going to be the case with Luke Hughes in New Jersey. They obviously have Dougie Hamilton, who's going to be putting up like around 70 points. Siegenthaler needs minutes. Marino's an absolute stud. So I don't think that he's going to have this massive opportunity. I'd be shocked if he plays over 21 minutes a night. And in order to get into the 40s and 50s as a defenseman, especially a defenseman that's not going to be on the top power play, I really can't see it happening. So I think he's going to have a similar season to like an Owen Power. 35. How would Owen Power have? 35 points. So I'm going to go 38 right now. I think that is about a fair number. I know people are going to think I'm crazy for that. If he was on another team where he could just go as a number 1 power play guy, I think he would be in the mid 40s. Long term, I'm still very high on him. But as of right now, I think 38, 37 is pretty fair. Lastly, got Brent Clark. Brent Clark, LA Kings. He's a pretty weird one as well. Will he get that second power play time and a lot of ice time over like a Jordan Spence? I personally would give him that ice time because you just look at what he did in the OHL last year. He led all of the OHL forwards and defensemen in points per game. He had 61 in 31 games. That is absolutely insane, as well as 23 points in 12 playoff games. He is oozing with offensive potential. As for his overall game, I think he'll be fine defensively, but the offensive tools are so there. He's basically like, not a Quinn Hughes, but like that kind of type where like you just watch him and the way that he moves with the puck and can keep plays alive is just so special that I think on an LA Kings team that kind of has been lacking some offensive creativity from their blue line, especially after they lost Sean Durzi. I think that was telling that, either Jordan Spence or Brent Clark are ready to go to kind of take that load off Durzi. Durzi's gone. They need another offensive defenseman. Got him from within. So for Brent Clark, right now I'm going to go with 34 points just because I'm not sure if he is going to be that number 2 defenseman to Drew Doughty on the top power play, but I am very encouraged from what I see from Brent Clark going forward and in the future. But overall, that is the video. Let's run through it. Bedard said 74. Fantilli, 56. Cooley, 53. Carlson, 50. Evangelista, 49. Nyes, I think I said 46 or 47. Hughes, 38. Clark, 35. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about this? What are your predictions? What are some other rookies that I might have missed? How many points do you think that they're going to get? Let me know in the comments. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.